Hey pretties! This week, Kiki and I sit down to chat about our recent Ethiopian feast and my upcoming trip to Hawaii. We also switch gears from the Real Housewives of Potomac to the insanity that is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Lastly, we dive in to a couple of questions, some of which are more straightforward than others. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay. I don't fear no man, but I'ma still put 60 in this Drake. Set it off like Queen Latifah, nigga playing with my cake. Split the bag up with my brother, 50-50 what we made. I can't let no nigga eat that ain't contribute to this play.
Welcome back, pretties. I'm your host, Ken.
It's your girl, Kiki.
And we're back at it. So let's jump right in.
To what?
Gonna start off with anything notable happened for you at all this week?
We went to Ethiopian food.
Okay.
And
Coming in hot.
Yeah, coming in hot with Ethiopian food. So delicious. We were walking in. Ken and I were like, I'm not that hungry. I gotta get this watch. I'm gonna eat this food. So good. But it was the next day at work. Right before I'm meeting, my boss calls me. I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, hey, and she's like, oh, is your camera not working? I'm like, no, I'm just in the bathroom. She's like, oh, why did you answer? Like, because I thought you were calling me before the meeting for a reason. So I call her back. Anyways, then maybe a few hours later, she calls me again when I'm in the bathroom. So someone was like, I need to tell you something. I had Ethiopian last night. So I'm just like in the bathroom a lot today. So maybe be patient with the cold calls. But it was very good.
As always.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's not a good story.
So the highlight of your week.
No,
notable,
not
highlight. A notable thing.
A notable thing that happened during my week.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. We're starting the pod off with poop.
I didn't say that. I said I was in the bathroom. Okay? If you inferred that.
It was implied.
But I have the couth to not say it out loud.
Okay.
All right?
Same.
Same.
But different. No one was calling me. I think one notable thing that happened to me that I have resonating at the top of my mind is I was doing one of our social clips that I posted today. And I usually ask the bots for help with like figuring out what I want to caption the clip and also like the hashtags. And so, yeah, life hack for everyone. And so I ended up getting into an argument with the Copilot chatbot because it wouldn't use the hashtag Omegaverse because of its sexually implied content. So I was really annoyed at the bot making moral judgments and like, I'm your master, do as I say. Didn't like that. Don't like where this world is heading if that's the case, but
Ain't nobody asked you.
yeah, it was like, anyways, obviously, as we discussed on the pod, part of what it was trying to explain is like, there's a lot of dubious consent. So, making NSFW content for purposes of using the bots, apparently. So that was a notable thing, arguing with a computer.
Yeah.
And all of that to say that I have really been enjoying my foray into our social work.
Yeah, you've been doing, well, don't say it like that. That sounds different than social media work. Social work.
Our our social media work.
Yeah, I think you've been doing a really good job with the socials. I have been enjoying seeing them posted.
I'm surprised.
You're very consistent in a way you weren't last year. So I've been
okay.
You're exceeding a standard that I reduced setting you to, and that's so I'm surprised every day, and that's good. Low expectations, and you're really clearing that bar.
Bar was in hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
good
sure.
Good to know. I'm trying things out.
Speaking of socials, search, like, and subscribe. You could guess. Yes. You know how to find us. I got my nails done yesterday.
Yes, we had a whole debate about the
I told you
the color calendar of your nails.
Yeah, and I don't explain it to anyone because get your own nails done and create your own calendar. And I don't want to explain it again because I'm tired of fighting with people about it. So it's my choice, my body, my choice, my money. But I like this color. I feel like it's an in-between from pastel and hot pink. So that's going for. Anyways, I feel like something else did happen this week, but I've already forgotten it as I talked about the Ethiopian food.
Yeah. I was telling you earlier that both of my dogs have been extra clingy and following me around. And enough in a way where both my husband and I are like, okay, I'm convinced one of us is dying or one of them is dying. I want to say like, oh, it's just because they love me. That ain't it, guys. That ain't it. Okay. It's definitely like something's going on. And I just wish that they would speak English so that I could understand, because everything I saw when I was looking this up online, and it's like, take them to the vet. It's like, for what? They can't speak to dogs either.
Well, and I also think the way that we take care of our dogs, like it's like when Bean had bloody poop. You know, I take him to the vet, and they're like, well, you know, he tested the fecal matter, it's fine, and he had his physical already just a few months ago. So like, there's really nothing we can do out sort of like, you know, really crazy tests that we haven't already kind of run. And so I think same thing with your dogs. It's not like, what are they going to do? Like,
they're just going to run tests.
Yeah, but they've already been tested somewhat recently. Yeah, I was assuming within the last year. So they're probably, you know, it is difficult. But I do believe that, like, God, there's so much dog hair on my pants. I do believe that I know my dogs very well, and I know when they're acting, you know, up. So, I mean, like, sensitive. I know there specifically a way that Bean acts that he saw a bug in the house. A specific thing that he does. I'm like he just looks a little too curious at something. Yeah. He kind of starts pawing at it. And it's not any bug. It's not like an ant. It's like some sort of like spider or like a real creepy crawly. And like I'll see him do something. I'm like, what's wrong? There's something in this house for sure. Yeah. So thanks, Bean. You're a real lifesaver for your mom. Yep. So I feel like it could be like changes in the home. I know I've personally been negatively impacted by all of the weather changes recently. I'm happy that we're in a little bit of a short sleeve season because the long sleeves are getting tired, girl. I feel like it's every season. Like, you know, I have my winter, fall clothes. I have my spring, summer clothes. And by the tail end of turtleneck long sleeve season, I'm like, bruh, this is you've worn the same shirt so many, and I have a lot of clothes, you know. But I'm like, I'm really running low. So now we're back to last season's short sleeves, but it feels fresh, it feels new, and I like that.
I texted you today because as I was getting ready, I'm like, none of my clothes fit.
I don't want to talk about it on the pod. Actually, I don't want to talk about it.
We got to lock in.
Yes, we do got to lock in. But I'm like, I'm tired of talking about how we got to lock in, not locking in. And then you're posting the social clips, and it's just double chins. And then it's Ethiopian food. It's last meals. I'm like, okay, all right. Like, I feel like we're 2 seconds away from getting a comment. Like, yeah, you look like you eat food like that. And that would be my, like, last reason why on earth. Like, so I just give us a month. Just give us a month before we start talking about how fat and nasty we've gotten Mike Tyson style.
Oh my God. It doesn't help that I somehow have in my algorithm all the people who are being told they have to book another seat on Southwest, which I'm flying in between Honolulu and Maui. Like I went to look at flights for this like 20-minute flight between Honolulu and Maui, which is where I'm going next. And it was maybe an $80 difference for me to fly Alaska first class versus Southwest with extra legroom because I'm a tall girly. And I was like, all right, let me be prudent. This is a really short flight. But then after I booked that flight, literally every day on my feed is about how Southwest gate agents are just body checking people and telling them like that they need to buy an extra ticket.
Well, are you gonna check bags?
Yeah.
So wouldn't first class be worth it? So you don't have to pay to check your bag in Southwest?
Well, so I paid for the most expensive seat on Southwest that comes with the checked bags, and it was still $80 cheaper than first class. Wow. Now, again, I feel like and because everyone else is flying Southwest, so I'm like, I'm trying to be part of the group.
No, that's actually
But hilarious. I'm like having a bit of buyer's remorse. I'm like, don't let me show up to this airport, have to fight with gate agents.
You'll be fine.
So I super am trying to lock in because I at least need to fit back into all the clothes I bought last year.
Yeah, I concur. When's Hawaii? It's in May. God. How long are you gone for?
I'm gone for 7 days. It's not a lot of time, and my friend wanted to do 2 islands,
Oh, sorry, Mutt.
which I've never done in the 2 other times
That's
I've
pretty
gone
cool.
to Hawaii.
I don't think I'd want to do that, but that's cool. You know how I don't like packing up and a trip within a trip.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much work for me. I just want to get there. I want to enjoy. I want to live the city life. I want to,
I know.
I want to be in Paris. I know, guys. You're tired of hearing
We're bringing
about
it back. Yeah, part of me was like, I'll just meet them in Maui and I'll skip Honolulu. Then I ended up not doing that. I'm sure I'll have fun. Maybe a different experience, but
Yeah, you're
it
gonna have
is
a
a
great
lot
time.
of like, okay, I gotta have my Oahu fits and then I gotta go have my Maui fits. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that we're trying to do, so it's a short period of time.
Well, I'm sure it'll feel more hectic in the moment, but looking back, it'll be a great time.
It'll be fun, yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah. So I was reminded that tomorrow is the Oscars.
I'm excited, I think. We'll see. I'm excited to know the results. Now, I will not stay up and watch it.
No.
Even if it were early, I wouldn't watch it. But I will wake up the next day and the first thing I'll Google is Oscars results. Same thing I do through the Grammys every year. Like, I want to know, but I don't need to see it happen in real time. So...
It's very fascinating because Timothée Chalamet has been promoting his Marty Supreme character, which may be his character at this point. Art imitating
Yeah,
life.
and someone's trying to take him down between the scenes, and I like that. I like a
definitely
little sabotage,
a little
subterfuge. I like that shit.
a plot is afoot because for whatever reason, him and Matthew McConaughey sat down and he dissed the arts.
But there's also like other things that were happening before that. Like there was an article that dropped that said like, oh, Timothée Chalamet and how he wants to be a wigger, and now he's dropping it when he wants to win the Academy Award. One. Then there's people saying that he's like difficult to deal with and dress. So like a lot of things are just dropping at convenient times. Now, do I think they are sabotaging him? Yes. But also don't give people a reason to sabotage you, but also be smarter than other people. So it's like, I can recognize that maybe it's a little bit of sabotage. That's fun. That's fun for the rest of us. So, if you're sabotaged, you're sabotaged. He honestly, okay, again, I haven't seen Marty Supreme, so actually I'm not going to say it. I'm like, I can't say that.
But that's the problem, right? Like, you can have the best performance. The subject of this movie is ping pong.
Correct.
I don't care about that. Like,
I don't care.
You can have the greatest performance of your life, but if the subject matter isn't going to entice me to watch this movie.
For sure.
And the same goes for Hamnet. Hamnet is also, I heard, really good. And a lot of people are saying they want it to, like, win all of the awards it's nominated, or, a lot of the awards that it's nominated for. But it's like, I'm sure it is, and I'm sure one day I'll get to it, but I've seen so many stories about Shakespeare that I'm like, can I really muster myself up to leave what is cinema on Salt Lake City at this point, because that's what I've moved on to go watch another tale of Shakespeare. And again, I'm also not researching it to be like, oh, it's actually about this angle of shit. It's more about the, woman in his life. And again, it's the subject matter. And so I'm struggling a lot. Begonia, same thing. I'm like, I don't even know what that's about.
Oh, I feel like I would like that. It's kind of like a horror thriller, maybe less horror, more thriller.
Yeah.
Like mystery.
And I bet Jesse Plemons is really good in it because he's a really good actor.
I actually read the synopsis on, I think it's a remake of a foreign film. So I already know what's about and what's happened. But I feel like I would watch that. What I'm getting at is it's not about watching or not. I'm trying not to say that Sinners is better than all of those when I haven't seen them. So all I can say is that I really love Sinners and I'd be very happy if it won. But I couldn't say that the other ones aren't good because I don't want to watch them. And as much as I would want to watch them to talk shit on them, I did like that. It's more valuable that I don't watch them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and again, that's why it's like I don't have any investment because I haven't seen a lot of these films, and this is so subjective that it's like there are so many instances across Academy history where the winner of something at the time is like kind of questionable. I mean, who's thinking Crash winning Best Picture is like holding up. Like, I don't think anyone would argue that it holds up. And there are a lot of films like that. So it's like, I can't give too much stock to this.
Yeah.
All I can say is that this kind of speaks for me, like any awards speaks to me about, like, I enjoy watching movies, and the Oscars is this very specific niche of film where sometimes like it doesn't match up with like the entertainment value that I'm looking for in movies at the time I am when they're
That's true,
these.
because honestly, that Mission Impossible was sweet, baby. Marvel movies, sweep, because those are entertaining.
Oh my God. I freaking cannot handle how much I love the pipeline from Captain America, Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. Like,
Black
those
Panther
4 movies
is in there for me. Also, Thor Ragnarok. Like,
Okay, yeah.
so honestly, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
I don't really like Ant-Man that much. The first Captain America is really bad and boring the first time you watch it. Upon a rewatch, I guess it's more okay. I don't know. Teeny tiny Steve Rogers ain't doing it for me.
It's setting up so much. There's so much exposition.
But you
for what
can't
will
focus.
be
I
said.
don't like when a movie focuses so much on the setup and preparation for a sequel, because it's like, well, outside of Marvel, when other movies do that, I feel like you're not getting the sequel because you haven't made the first one good enough. You know, like you're like, I get why you're trying to do this, but it's like if you don't make it to the sequel, then all of that was for naught.
Right.
And
you can't
so-
start the Captain America storyline without showing like how he becomes Captain
Sure,
America.
but do we have to spend 2 hours on it? And does Peggy have to be so forefront in it? Like, I mean, it's just like, okay, I feel like you could do like flashbacks or something, you know, like instead of like, it was so boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I needed to, well, I'm not to watch
Great
that for you
entertainment.
again.
But yeah, that's just, it's kind of where I'm at, because I'm in a phase where it's like, obviously you and I have talked about this. We like to do other things when things are on in the background. Now, I can't watch, the intrigue of a film and also be reading my stories or, scrolling TikTok. So that's why it's like, it's very difficult for me to be like, all right, let me sit down. I still to this day have never watched There Will Be Blood. First of all, it's 3 hours.
You know what? I
I'm
actually
gonna
tried to
commit.
start that a few months ago. I think it was at your house. Maybe it was when you guys were in Japan. And I tried to watch it, and I was like, okay, hold on. Okay, and then it was like, and then I was reading this, and I was like, what is this about? Like, let me read it all. And I'm like, okay. And like, I was like, I kept getting distracted. I was like, now I'm lost again. Hold on, let me start it over. Then I get distracted, like, okay, I lost it. And then I was like, actually, I'm not watching this anymore. I'm sorry, I've restarted it like 3 times, and it's 3 hours. I'll never leave this couch. But I do want to see that movie because
Daniel Day-Lewis is a phenomenal actor. I feel like Paul Dano's in that movie.
yeah. And it seems like a really interesting storyline. I like the title.
I love P.T. Anderson, who I
was
believe
just like-
directs that film.
I was like,
he's one of my
I can't.
favorite directors, although he's gotten a little crazy with his nonsense lately. But like, so I definitely want to watch this film, but I'm like, okay, first I gotta gear myself up to 3 hours
and
of
full dedicated attention to it.
cinema. Like cinema. I gotta like lock in.
I feel like it was Dune. I was trying to watch the first Dune. Same thing. It's like, okay, I get, like, I don't want to have a short attention span, and I don't feel like I do. But if I gotta be, like, so, like, I can't even move my head or, like, for 1 second turn away, and then I'm like, wait, I'm lost again. I'm like, okay, it's actually a little too intense for me right now.
Yeah.
But, I was cleaning my apartment today, and but sometimes I like, listen to TikTok in the background, like, regular TikToks. Mm-hmm. I can't watch a C-drama because it literally takes all of my focus to read these subtitles. So then once I kind of was at the tail end of, I needed to get ready, I was like, okay, I'll put on a C-drama. But even then, I'm doing my makeup and I'm like trying to do my eyebrows and I'm like, pause. I can't even like, because I need to fully focus on it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I
mean,
agree.
that's different. You have to be reading. You have to actually, like, your eyes have to be looking at it to read it.
I mean, I feel like in one episode, you're probably not going to miss so much
That's
context, but it's like, I can't miss any.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to talk about this too much, but I wish I could also see the actors, like all of the expressions of the actors, but I have to also read the subtitles. And sometimes I'm like, I'm wondering how I'm even watching this because I'm reading so much,
Yeah.
And I'm like catching it out of the corner of my eye or something. I don't know. So
our eyes are capable of
they're
scanning quite a bit of
lot.
information.
Yeah.
So
because I'm like, I feel like I was seeing it, but then I don't know. It's like you overthink. I'm like, was I even watching this? Like, anyway.
I have the same dilemma because I really love anime and I prefer the Japanese voice actors. So I
so much better.
typically will watch it subbed. And I've been paying for a subscription to Crunchyroll for fucking years, bro. But
Can't
I
stop
don't
now.
think I've watched.
Investments there.
I don't think I've watched an anime in ages. I tried starting Black Clover, and then I was like, all right, well, I really got to pay attention to this because, you know, I got to read the subtitles. So
The minute you cancel that subscription, you'll want to watch an anime so bad. So
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion's dropping an anime.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Can't wait to
That'd
see
be
what
really
it's
cool.
like.
So as I just briefly mentioned, I'm in season 8 of Potomac, hitting pause because,
You need to catch up.
well, you need to catch up, yes. And
Well-
it's also the season where you can tell that there's been so much infighting within this group that they're like not trying to hang out together as a group anymore. And so they're breaking off into sects of like this group will hang out and this group will hang out, but they very rarely all of them come together.
Oh.
And I think it's also kind of like foreshadowing, like you can kind of tell like this is probably gonna be their last season. And so I'm not interested in investing in that anymore until you catch up. So then I was like, let me go back to Salt Lake City. Now I'm locked in, baby.
Okay, so I actually, now that we know how I am, that I overpromised and underdelivered on Potomac, I feel like we should switch to Salt Lake because I already watched.
There's no switch. Nothing happened with Potomac. We're
Well-
just going to be on Salt Lake.
Well, you watched all of Potomac. I say we should switch our focus to you watched all of Potomac to Salt Lake because I'm already ahead of you there, and I feel like
Where are you?
I'm in season 2.
Yeah, same.
So, but I also know everything about Salt Lake because I've been following it for so closely. And it's not like Potomac's not interesting, but because it's like, you know, I already started Salt Lake, I already have that investment value there, so I feel like let's try Salt Lake.
Okay.
And see how it goes. I feel like it's gonna be hard to watch the season without Mary because the rest of these ladies are kind of I don't know, they're kind of interesting. They're
But you
kind
said
of like,
she comes back?
she does come back.
Okay.
She's only gone for 1 season. And she comes back maybe originally as a friend of and then a full
I'm starting to get like a vibe for the rest of the ladies, and now that I'm saying that, I'm like, I think her name's Kirsten?
No.
Who's the blonde lady? Who's young and married to the
Whitney.
old guy? Whitney, thank you. Season 1, good setup, okay? Season 2 starts with, first of all, this lady has braids in her hair, okay? She's getting ready. They're getting ready to go on a trip, and it starts with like her getting the phone call on the bus when they're getting ready to leave.
That they're trying to
they're about
arrest
to
Jen
arrest
Shaw?
her, yeah. And so she leaves, and they arrest her, and so now we're back in time. Jen Shaw, what a character.
In a bad way. Like,
Not in a good way at
Yeah.
all, because it's just,
not Shaw
I'm not going to diagnose this lady because I'm not equipped, but I will say very, very theatrical in her like expression of emotions, very like
But
0
in a
to
bad way,
100.
again.
This woman is just a little like, I wouldn't be able to tolerate it. And I know we said on the
Yeah.
last, when I was like, oh, I think Salt Lake would be good. I would have negative 3,900 patience for this woman if I was on Salt Lake, because there's just no way that I would be like explaining to you, like, listen, you hurt my feelings. And your response is, yeah, but you hurt my feelings. That's not what we're doing at 40 plus years old.
It's like she really expects a lot from people, but gives nothing. It kind of in like a very randomly adjacent way reminds me of police officers, where it's like you expect me, an untrained citizen, to be cool, calm, and collected under so many circumstances where you, the trained person, doesn't have to be collected at all and can freak out. Whereas like Jen, like you expect someone to say sorry, but you never want to apologize. But also your infractions are insane because you're
Yes.
insane. So it's like, you want me to say sorry for the hospital comment. Also, I did say sorry. And then you want to say I never said sorry. And then I say sorry again. And then like every time it's like 0 to 100 is like, but then also feeling so righteous and like you're,
Yes.
you know, and that no one else could react that way to you.
Well, and it's like she just rehearts her own feelings. So then it like, because she can't let it go. Like, it's like, and what she'll do is like, you'll be like, okay, I'm sorry that I said you smelled like hospital. And then after that altercation, if you're like, hey, by the way, you hurt my feelings in this completely separate instance, she'll bring up the fact that like,
Yeah.
well, remember when you hurt my feelings when you said
Exactly.
I smelled like hospital? And it's like, girl, we can't do this. Like,
That's
this is
not how
normal.
reality TV works. You
It's
know,
just
we can't rehash everything every time. It has to be new for new. Okay, like
it's wild, and it's like this. So it's really the way the editors are also really funny on the show because it's like every time someone mentions Mary, it's like she's going from, why are you talking about Mary? Why are you bringing up Mary? Throws a glass. It's like, oh, so we're just throwing shit and breaking shit. Okay, girl, I was just telling you that everyone's telling Mary that they're scared of you. And in this same conversation where they're saying they're scared of you, your reaction is to throw a glass.
And you know what's funny about that is that it's like, I guess they didn't say that word for word, bar for bar. They didn't say that.
No.
I think it was heavily implied. And even if it wasn't implied, I think Mary knows they're all scared of that is how they feel.
Yeah.
So I found that an interesting conversation where she's like, well, I think it's what's her name? Lisa Barlow.
Okay.
Who's like, or someone tells her that, or maybe she tells Whitney, and then like they find out that they didn't actually say that.
No, because what
like,
they're saying is that like they don't want to confront her about their issues. They're just uncomfortable.
correct.
Yeah.
So, but like that person that brings it up, I think it's Whitney is the one that's like, well, everyone said they're scared
First
of you.
all, Whitney's wasted when she says this. She's just
like,
like,
Mary said.
like, this is like she's doing a terrible
And then,
job.
and then Jen's like yelling, like, did you guys say that? And then like, no, we didn't. And it's like, okay, true. But also what Mary said was true. You guys all are scared of her. Look at how you're acting right now. Little sheep.
And then look at how she responds. So it's just like...
but then Whitney's mad because Mary, I guess, technically lied to her. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm interested to see how the season progresses. They introduced a new character, Jenny, on season 2.
It don't go well with her.
It can't because it's already starting off with her husband. First of all, this lady has disclosed that she's had 9 miscarriages and that her 3 children were all delivered with C-section before she sits across the couch from her fucking husband who tells her he wants another child.
I think that's a storyline, though. But yes.
I'm
and
like,
he's like a chiropractor.
Divorce immediately, okay? Because absolutely not.
It's very, I know how this pans out with her as a character. It's gonna be good. I think you're gonna like it.
Okay.
I mean, you're not gonna like it. It's bad, but like, it becomes like a her versus Mary thing. But you can't go against Mary because okay, I'm not gonna give you too many spoilers. But if you can't hold your reactions, you just can't go against Mary. You know, if you're gonna freak out at everything someone says and get angry like Jen Shaw does, you're gonna lose to Mary every time. Mary doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
So it's like now you're gonna look insane because like, Mary's gonna, so I feel like that's
Mary
weird.
is
And then
so funny.
Season 3, someone new comes that also turns into a very interesting storyline and arc with this person. So like this is where I feel like it's gonna get good. Like we need to focus
I'm
on
excited.
something.
I'm enjoying watching it because it's like I do feel like they're also doing an interesting thing that I think is important for shows like this, where it's like I have so many perceptions about Salt Lake City, right?
Yeah.
It's like the state of Utah, Brigham Young University. It's like, to me, it's like I very much attach Utah with Mormonism.
Yeah.
And so giving me an insight into like a culture of this area that like I probably wouldn't get any exposure to is also a fascinating aspect of the season because these people, I mean, I'm watching a show, like they're at a casino night raising funds for an organization because these 2 people have a trans child.
Yeah.
It's like, first of all, there's too much blowing my mind because it's like, I just don't expect people to like be discussing that publicly because of my own perceptions of, wrong or right, like what I know
would be
of
acceptable
Utah.
in Utah. Well, it's also interesting the many religions that are represented on the show, and not just people that happen to be religious and not saying it, but like, I mean, Mary's a freaking pastor.
Pastor, she's the first lady. I guess the husband's the pastor.
Yeah, but she also
But
preaches
she's
on the pulpit.
evangelizes, yes.
She preaches on the pulpit.
Yeah.
And then, we have
ethnically Jewish people.
Well,
I don't think they say they're not religious.
Meredith celebrates Jewish holidays, and eventually she'll get
More
she'll
into her
have a bat mitzvah on the show.
Oh, interesting.
So, Jewish.
Her own bat mitzvah?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was Israel propaganda, but she does it. She does it, yeah.
Okay.
In the later season.
I don't know a
Jen
lot
Shaw
about the customs.
talks about being Islam. So it's like you have all these different, in a very Mormon culture. Like, this is kind of interesting,
It is
actually.
interesting.
You have Lisa, who says she's very, very she's very important to God and she's very Mormon. Then you have the two ex-Mormons.
She calls herself Mormon 2.0 because she's got a liquor company.
Yeah, but for the first 2 seasons, she doesn't drink. So it's like she abides by this idea of like she doesn't drink the alcohol. Also, you can't find Vita tequila anywhere. I don't even know what this is. I actually have been to Utah. I haven't seen that behind no bars, but whatever. But anyway, so I find that very fascinating as well.
It is fascinating because I feel like that's just not what I would have pictured, and like also like getting insight into people's experiences, like Heather being kind of feeling like very not passed out, but like feeling very kicked out of the church after her divorce. Those that like still consider themselves, I think she's one of those who's like, she considers herself Mormon, but also not. And like, is also very vocal about the fact that she wants her kids to have like new experiences that are like different from how she grew up in this area. So it's just very fascinating. I find these women very interesting just on like, their own journeys and how like they're willing to open up about them in ways where I feel like Potomac kind of came in and it was like you could tell there was a lot they're all politicians practically over there, right? Like they're having a very different experience of like they're really trying to PR themselves in this show.
I agree because I feel like Potomac season 1 episode 1 was very cringy in the way that they were trying to self-produce. And I'm not saying they weren't doing that on Salt Lake, but maybe they just don't have the capacity for the same way of doing it, I guess. So like, it's like, I don't know. So it is very different and it is very interesting. And I also like that it's a certain level of wealth that isn't entirely too much.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, this is, Jen Shaw obviously is, defrauding,
Well, also millions. She rents her homes, which is like fine, but it's like, okay, I guess coaches in college football coaches, they do make good money. But
I think a lot of that was her money from her defrauding people of millions of dollars.
But Coach Shaw makes maybe $4 million a year.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. I'm not saying you're broke. Whitney and her husband. Yeah, but we're not
talking Hilton level wealth.
Exactly. Yeah. Whitney and her husband got big. He got big on MLMs.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Mary, I know they say that like she has the church, but it's actually her family had a bunch of businesses that she inherited when her grandmother died, and she married her grandpappy, who was, I don't know. So like they have other businesses outside of the church.
That was so funny. How many homes do you have? I don't know. I've never counted them. Girl, flex. They just started listing them. We got the home down in Orlando. I was like, oh.
I keep forgetting her name. Meredith. She has like a really large trust fund that isn't like her family's really rich. So it's just very interesting. Yeah. Like you're like, okay.
She must because her
husband she's making Ohio life.
Oh my God. Well, no, Meredith is over here making jewelry, has a store, and then puts her son's tracksuit in there.
Well, Meredith also doesn't live in Salt Lake. She rents a home there for a season to be on the show. Oh, and then she lives elsewhere.
Oh, interesting.
She's not actually, I know a lot about Salt Lake, even though I'm only on season 2.
Wow. Well, I'm excited to get into it even further because I just find like the backdrop of the city as, like the city as it's a different character an additional character on the show, more so than I feel like Atlanta didn't feel like a character to me, right? Like it was very focused, I think, on the people.
Yes.
Like, Beverly Hills, I think, can feel like a character because again, this isn't a real place. Like this is not a place that any of us would move in any way. But I feel like Salt Lake it's starting to feel like a character of the show because there's just a lot of like knowledge that I'm gaining about like how people live in Salt Lake City, Utah.
For sure. Okay, so all in, we'll focus on Salt Lake a little bit. I feel like, anyways. Yeah, so I feel like that's going to be fun.
I'm not committing that. That's what you said last time. I'm not committing that. I really wish that you would, just because every time I watch something funny, I obviously want to FaceTime you about it.
Okay. As much as I know I could get into Potomac, it's like I have to get into it versus Salt Lake, I'm already into it.
Yeah.
Even though I stopped watching it, like I know that it wouldn't feel as much of a like
lift
push myself to watch it.
Who are your favorite ladies?
On Salt Lake?
Yeah, obviously Mary.
I love Mary Cosby. I like Whitney.
I like Whitney a lot.
It's
first of all, I think she's very beautiful. And then second of all, I think it's like she's kind of unapologetically her, which I really appreciate and enjoy. It's like a breath of fresh air. And it's also funny in her interviews. I just feel like she's the youngest of them, but she's like kind of flabbergasted that these women these old ladies
sure.
are acting like this. So I appreciate her perspective.
And I think also Salt Lake as a cast is really interesting because I feel like you can tell that they actually would hang out together with or without the show. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like I feel like even there's times where like they will have like the reunion and you watch it and they have like a knockdown drag out and they still go out to eat later together. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they are friends, at least on the level of like, I do believe that they would reach out to each other if something were to happen and like they would casually get lunch. And like, so yeah, putting them all together, maybe it's not the most natural thing in the world. And so, like, you know, but I feel like they are friends and I feel like that makes it better. I don't mind Meredith. I do find her particular style of talking to be quite a little too much, but I she's true to herself, so fine. Lisa Barlow is okay. She's considered kind of the main of the show, but actually the show was started because of Mary. That's what Andy Cohen said, that he met Mary and wanted to build a show around her.
Oh, interesting. So, Lisa Barlow is the main?
She is considered like the fan favorite and the main character, especially in the later seasons. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. My perspective on her is like kind of still being sussed out a bit. I feel like and like, of course, what are they trying to make me think about her? But I just get the sense that she's kind of underhanded in a lot of her interactions.
Sure.
Like she's definitely trying to like move in social circles in like an underhanded type of way.
She definitely is. I think that she's the right level of delusional where she is funny because she's delusional and not because she's trying to be funny. And but she's not so delusional. They're like, you need to get it together and work within reality. Like Jen Shaw's like the wrong delusional. So I think that that's part of it. And I do feel like she's underhanded, but underhandedness is only, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, there's a level of which is acceptable when you don't actually have any of the real power or you're not smart enough to make it happen as much as you think you do. So it's like underhandedness in this Salt Lake City town. What's that doing? You know, like you're not freaking B613 over here making moves in a chessboard. Yeah. Versus like, you know.
I feel like I'm fine with underhanded, but I prefer someone that owns it unapologetically. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't want people thinking that they're smarter than they are. Do you know what I mean? Like
for sure. But so, you know, Lisa Barlow's anyways, but yeah, she was the fan favorite for years. I think this season, the most recent one, she didn't maybe get as good as at edit. There was a time that she's in her confessional look. And it looks like the makeup artist didn't put eyeliner on one of the eyes. The fact that production didn't say anything to her about this.
Maybe it was intentional. Maybe she thought she was maybe. Mary talking about Meredith's style in one of her confessionals was, Meredith's style is Meredith's style. It's just like, is that a real question? Are you really asking me that?
I don't like Heather that much, but I don't not like her.
Like you don't like her as entertainment, or you don't like her as a person?
I think that
who she's conveying herself as?
So I'm also not talking about this season specifically. I'm talking about from what I've seen over the span of the TikToks of the seasons that I've watched.
Oh, okay.
I feel like she produces too much. Okay. And like she's like, I guess in some ways supposed to serve as the audience surrogate, but she's not doing it in the way of like, I don't want her to speak for me, you know, like, I don't know. So it's like, I don't like hate her. It's not like, I hope she gets kicked off the show. I think she's annoying, but like, I think, and then I think in the current seasons, I feel like it's very clear that she has a lot of insecurities that she, like in terms of like how she wants to interact with the other ladies and how, like, I mean, I think there's a season where Jen Shaw, even the way that she was kind of like Jen Shaw's lapdog, it's like, I know Jen Shaw's a scary person and like, you know, you feel like you have this in alliance, but like, it's just not fun to watch that. Like someone that can't fully commit to standing up for themselves. It's like hard for me to relate to.
Yeah. Do you think she's like, would you say that same thing about Robin? Well, you haven't even watched Potomac, never mind.
Look, I ain't gonna be no beta in any situation, so like I'm not gonna ever really understand someone who is a beta. Because I feel like Mary She doesn't even have to get loud or nasty on purpose. She's just, like she can control her own in a situation regardless. Yeah. And I feel like that's much more relatable to me, even if she's crazy, than someone who is kowtows, like, kowtows to the powers that be. It's like, I'm just not going to relate to it. But again, I don't think she's so bad. It's just like, I can't really relate to it that much.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't really have a read yet on like, I would say like kind of in the middle for me. Like,
I'm interested to see.
I have the people I like. I have the people that I'm like, rough.
Ugh.
I find it interesting that they have all of these different lifestyles where she's clearly someone who's like making a business for herself.
Yeah,
and,
that's cool.
Like in this in-between space of like her faith and religion and like, the modern
trying to make up for
world.
lost time of getting married so young. And
yeah.
So I mean, season 1, the whole plot point of Meredith saying that she didn't really know her and she's a good time girl. Like, okay, would I like that?
Is that Meredith or Lisa?
No, that was Lisa. See, yeah,
they do seem they're very interchangeable.
It's like, okay, so I wouldn't necessarily like someone saying that, and maybe I'd confront them, but I wouldn't spend the half the season trying to get this person to admit that we did know each other. I just feel like I'm, me anyways. I'd be more calculated about things anyways. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna hold that as a grudge.
See, and this is why Lisa Barlow's hard for me, because I just feel like I as a viewer, I don't expect you to like everyone. But I do expect that if you don't like everyone, don't sit there and tell me that you like them, but then every time you're interacting with them, you're actually just being a complete piece of shit to them. Do you know what I mean?
It's but that's funny to me.
Like, that's hilarious. Like, we have eyes.
Like,
so it's like, you can't, and then she's on the reunion, like, roll the tape. It's like, yeah, we rolled the tape, bitch. Like, you seriously went into this interaction and like ignored this person.
Yeah.
And someone can feel the type of ways about that. And so like, I agree.
Yes.
Heather, be a good time girl. Own it. Don't shy away from it. But also, yeah, Lisa, you're being kind of a bitch.
I agree, but I feel like in that situation, it's the reactions that do it for me. Like, if someone said that, I wouldn't spend so much time trying to prove that they actually did know me. Like I would handle it differently. And so it's like, it was cringy to see her spend so much time trying to trick her into admitting that she did know her.
It's not
and then getting offended about it. It's like, you got to be a little more calculating than that,
Well, we went to high school together.
You're older than my oldest brother. Like, that's the kind of thing you need to be. I'm
43 to be exact.
Like, even just saying older than my oldest brother is such a shitty fucking way to say that. Like, that's so fucking shitty. But that's tea, Mm-hmm. Like, it's way better than being like, well, that's because you're an old piece of shit and you're older than me. No, it's just older than my oldest brother.
We don't know each other, Phaedra.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways.
Okay. Small town. Anyways.
Let's do, hold on. Get to know you?
Yeah, I don't have my phone, so you're going to have to figure out our topic.
Well, I wanted you to pick a topic. What are you thinking?
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
It's food adjacent.
Oh my God.
Because we're not going to do lunch.
Okay.
I think what we should come up with is, what's your favorite sandwich? That's hard. Yeah.
Okay. I always have to say ground rules for these things.
This is
best thing I've ever tasted, or the classic comfort feel good.
Okay,
I'm going to the sandwich shop down the street and I'm just picking a sandwich. What would I most likely pick versus like I'm looking for the best sandwich ever and I'm like really thinking about this. Like what, like a best sandwich on a Tuesday or best sandwich?
I think you should look at it more like, first of all, you should consider more of like, if I was in the mood for a sandwich and I was traveling away, right? And so I'm looking at a menu in a place that I've never eaten at and I've never been. What's a good enough sandwich that I would be willing to try it at a restaurant? You know what I mean?
I have two. Yeah, so that's like I feel like your go-to sandwich more than anything.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're getting into like, okay, I mean, you're gonna cut this, but like if I'm going for like the sandwich shop up the street, that might be a little too local.
Yeah, but I mean that like, okay, so
you
like
could craft a sandwich and be like
sandwich, but like yeah.
I suppose you could craft a sandwich and be like, okay, it's got to have this ingredients, but I don't think you want to do that. I think like known enough that it could be on any menu type of sandwich. Not
Okay.
like a Firehouse Subs number 33 or whatever.
No. I guess what I'm getting at is like, I'm thinking too much of last sandwich. Like if I really had thought into it, but we're just talking about off the cuff,
No.
what sandwich would you pick?
Yeah,
Okay.
what sandwich would you
Yeah, I
pick?
have 2.
Okay, 2? Okay,
Yeah.
great. I got to guess 2.
Well, you have twice the chance of getting
I also
it right.
feel like maybe next time we do this, we should actually have a whiteboard that we write on, and then we show it to the camera.
Okay, I kind of like. Okay,
Type of guess.
well, I like it how we're doing
Okay,
it,
okay.
but yeah, we can do that. Okay. Okay, so number 1 would be a BLT or like a California club that has like turkey, bacon, avocado, etc. on it. Okay, and it's really the second one that I would most likely, but the first one really matters to me. Okay.
Okay, so you have 2 sandwiches.
2 sandwiches that, like, there's one that I would almost always go for, and that's almost always available on a menu. But another one I crave sometimes.
Okay, I'm gonna guess grilled cheese.
No.
Wow. The other one you crave.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have 2.
Honestly, throw PB&J into the mix. So, okay.
Are they both hot?
Yeah, I mean, like, they're warm. Like, they have hot elements to them.
Fucking BLT.
Yes, that's one of them.
Okay, is that the number 2 or the number 1?
That's the first one I said, but it's the number 2 on my list.
Okay. I gotta guess 2. Okay.
Well, you could try. I can just say it.
Okay. So what were the stipulations that you had said? Like, one is the one that is your go-to, and one is...
Yeah, like, I think this one's more of like a go-to, and also you'd see it on more menus than maybe a BLT. But a BLT is like something I'll crave. I'll be like, you know what sounds delicious right now?
Okay.
It's a freaking BLT.
A chicken club?
Yeah, like a California chicken club with
Okay.
like avocado and bacon and turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Classics.
Classics. Your turn.
Okay. All right, so my sandwiches are a grilled cheese, and my second sandwich is a peanut butter, banana, and honey sandwich.
It's like you can't do that.
Oh my God, it's so rude. How are people going to hear what I have to say?
They'll hear it.
Okay.
There's 2 mics. Okay. Hold on. Is yours a grilled cheese?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's my second one?
I feel like it's, hold on.
You know what's crazy though? This actually wouldn't be on a menu.
Oh.
It would be one that I would make.
Is it like
So I guess I broke the rules, but
is it like a cucumber sandwich?
bitch.
Okay.
You want to retract that statement? Everything you know
A
about me, you
sandwich
think it's a
you'd make.
cucumber sandwich.
A sandwich you'd make. I don't know if have I ever seen you make this sandwich.
Probably not, but it's a sweet sandwich.
Is it peanut butter banana?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Peanut butter, banana.
That's
I
delish.
said honey. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love a really good PB&J. It's been so long since I've had a good PB&J.
Yeah. Let's do another one. That was quick.
Okay. Hold
And
on.
that was just off the cuff of my speaking it. I also just have to say, BLT clubs, there's a sandwich shop up the street from us that makes a sandwich that has they put I don't know, they put jalapenos and pickles, and then it's turkey, bacon, they toast it, lettuce, red onion. So it's a version of a toasted club that adds additional things to it because it's got tomato and stuff in there too. So it's crave that, but it's got this really nice heat to it that I think is really good.
All
And
right.
then the pickle adds it. It's not sliced pickles either. It's speared pickles.
Yum.
Delicious.
Yum, yum, yum.
I had a sandwich once. Let me reminisce about this sandwich. There are a few things that I think we've talked about this. There are a few foods that I've tasted that stick with me. One of them is a fig tart at Contramar in Mexico City. One is a coffee cheesecake we had in Costa Rica when we were younger at a buffet. So I'll never get that again. And then the third is a tuna sandwich that I had in Montreal. I can't tell you what ingredients were on other than the tuna, right? I know it was tuna, I know it was cheese, I know it was toasted and maybe red onions, but I can't tell. I don't know which element made it so delicious. But I think about that tuna, and I've tried chat, to remake this throughout my life, and I've never been able to get to whatever the French were doing up in Quebec to make this sandwich. But a tuna sandwich is another go-to sandwich of mine, but it's like, I know tuna's different in every shop. So it's one of those things that's it's hard for me to order consistently because it's like, is it going to be good or not?
Those pancakes we had in Hawaii with the coconut syrup.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those were delightful.
This is why we can't lock in, y'all.
I'm trying to think of like things that like, I have memorable meals that I think, when I went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant when he had it at the London in Hollywood, delicious. The steak tartare, the sticky toffee pudding, delight. And I think of just like the things that I've placed into my mouth that I've been like, what's so delicious. I don't know, because it's like a full experience. So
yeah,
but yeah, I maybe should make a list of some of the best things I've ever eaten. Even honestly, memorable, that big octopus leg risotto in France. Okay, first of all, the risotto was really good, and honestly, the ricotta peanut pizza, memorable. Like I can't forget that.
I forgot about the sliced deli ham.
I didn't forget about it. I remembered it. I just thought the peanuts were really what was shocking. Gooped and gagged.
Gagged.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Do you know what your number one pet peeve is off cuff? I feel like so many things bother me. It's hard to say. Like, I think I have one.
I feel like I've answered this question so many times, and I probably have one that is my go-to, but I can't think of it right now.
I feel like when it's happening, I'm like, I can't stand that. And I feel like sometimes people would know that about me. Like, oh yeah, like okay, well, how about I try to guess what your pet peeve is? Okay. One of them, and see if it rings a bell.
Okay, so when we say pet peeve, I just want to make sure we understand what we're talking about. Like, are we just talking about like anything that bothers us? Because there are a lot of things that bother us, but there are certain things where it's like I actually just can't tolerate it. Like I have to not tolerate it.
Okay, to me, I'm thinking of something that, not that I couldn't let go, but I'd have to say something about it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, because it's like people who listen to video without headphones on an airplane or in any public shared space like that. Yeah, that's a pet peeve.
You do that a lot.
What are you talking about?
When we're in the airport, you're always listening to your TikToks. And I know it's annoying to me. Really annoying to me. So
I don't believe you.
Yeah. I'll video you next time.
I don't believe you.
At the airport where we in, and we moved gates, and I ended up putting in my headphones because I was like, I can't hear. I can't deal with what she's listening to right now. I'm going to put my headphones in. Okay. So, interesting.
Okay, you can try and guess mine. I already have mine. Mine is one where I probably it's something that other people do. I probably wouldn't say anything, but if I was like in public, but it's something that like I couldn't tolerate it.
No, I don't want to guess what you're thinking about. I want to do what I've seen you react to and what I think would bother you, and either it's yes or a no.
Okay.
So I think, this is like maybe some obvious ones, actually. Maybe one that's not as obvious. I'm like someone that sneezes without covering their nose. But
it's just like...
It seems obvious, but like the fact that people do that,
I can't believe it. It's like throw a dart at the wall. It bothers me.
Maybe we shouldn't play this game. I don't know, actually.
No,
I really can't think of one.
Well, what I was thinking of is like I actually can't listen to mouth sounds.
I was thinking someone that chews annoyingly.
Yeah, like
You know, some people, even if they're chewing with their mouth closed, their like jaw is so loud or something. It's like, why can I hear every bite you're taking? Or like people that like when they gulp.
Sometimes it's food. Like I was on a bus one time. This was back when I was young, people. Okay, I traveled by bus somewhere. No, I was on a bus from like Boston to New York or New York to Boston, one or the other, and someone was like slurping soup.
You know, I thought about the Chinese dramas, you know, they're eating with all them chopsticks and they're having to slurp up their noodles. And I'm like, I don't know how they handle it.
Now, mind you, I will also eat ramen this way.
Yeah.
But there's something about like my dogs licking. They're like when they're licking. Yeah. And I'm like, I have to tell them to stop.
Yeah.
I can tell them to stop. But this gentleman who was slurping his soup on this bus, I just had to be like disgusted and annoyed.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, it's visceral.
Yes, visceral. That's it. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know what I really can't stand? What do you think? Something that I can't stand.
People that drone on and on.
I do like someone that, like, you know, I believe in treasure map. X marks the spot and then take me on the journey. But people making all that noise. You know, I can't stand that shit. Like when you call and your chain's jingling on the phone, I'm like, girl, I'm gonna hang up on you right now. Stop making all that noise. You know, I don't know. Like if someone is like, you know, like something's falling a bunch of times, like they're trying to pick it up, I'd get so irritated. Like things like that. I'm like, or when we go into a restaurant, I don't like all that noise when I'm trying to eat. I like a freaking curmudgeon, like an old lady.
That's so funny. I do think there's probably just something where it's like auditorily I'm sensitive because if my husband's on his headphones and it's like I'm hearing all of the outside environment noise, I'm like, I'm gonna hang up right now because I don't actually want to talk to you that badly that I need to hear all this other shit going on.
I get extremely overstimulated. Mm-hmm. I do consider myself to be noise sensitive.
Yeah.
And that's why I do, but I sleep with white noise because I feel like, you know, with the dogs, if there's I mean,
oh my God.
Shut up, dogs!
No,
like,
I'm always telling my dogs, like, stop licking your paws. Like, I just can't.
I know you want to so bad, and I want to give you a little bit of grace, but like, it's like, you know, cringy.
It grates on me.
Yeah.
I would say, to just close this out, the one thing that I find in public that I cannot stand is men that are talking as though they're the main character.
Oh my God, actually, like, you know, sometimes I'll be somewhere and, you know, when I'm familiar with their staff and I've almost came this close to saying, bartender, there's a man talking near me again. Can you do something about this? And I was like, let's hold back. But I was like, I almost was like, I need to tell them, like, can you ask them to leave? Like,
it's like they, you know, and it's like, I can't give them the satisfaction of the fact that like they've dragged me into the script they've written for this but it's just like I really just need men to be like not seen and not heard, actually.
Yeah, what do they call that in Arrested Development? A certain boy at the school that they send them to, and Lucille says, you can always tell a Milford man. They're not seen and they're not heard. I'm like, yeah, that's good house training. We need to get back to that. Actually, let me look up if that's a real academy. I'll sponsor anyone who wants to go. Well, I think this is a good time. I love our guessing game, but I also like the you know, just getting to know and like putting things out there. It is also interesting that I feel like it's like when people say 2 truths and a lie, or like, you know, I'm like, at that exact moment, I can never think about anything interesting about myself. I'm like, I don't know, nothing. I'm just an idiot. So I feel similarly, but it's a good time.
I like it because it's like, clearly I know you.
Yeah.
And you know me very well. We're also very similar, but then there are a lot of things that like we differ on.
Yeah.
And so,
like, you'll listen to your TikToks out loud in public and then say it's a pet peeve, whereas I don't do that. So we're like really different in some ways. And then you don't even actually know that you're doing it. I mean, you've done it a lot of times and I know because every time you've done it, like it's really annoyed me.
Maybe
you've done it enough where it bothers me a lot, but I pick my battles and I say, well, if my sister wants to be that kind of gal, who am I to stop her? Plenty of people act like that. All right.
You're the only one who can stop. Okay. I was actually thinking about the time that we were on a flight together to Disneyland, I think. So it was a really small flight. And the person was just, listening to full video. And I was like, man, that's actually really annoying. You're telling me I've been doing this entire time?
Yeah. And I was also thinking at the time we were on that really delayed flight, and our stepmom called, and you had a really long conversation about what our plan was for Disneyland, even after the plane was in the air. I was like, I don't know what's happening right now. But, it's interesting because I feel like having
a conversation is different.
I do feel like it's different, but it was still irritating to me because we're in the middle of the air, we're like taking off, I'm like, okay, whatever. But I feel like I know that some people probably don't like that maybe I talk loudly or like, I do talk loudly, but I also feel like it's conversational tone. And if like you can overhear, but I also feel like for me, the conversations are normal. And so I don't feel like I have to be quiet in a situation that doesn't require it, like on a plane, when we were on our way to Disneyland, I was talking to Mom, I think at a normal volume. Was it maybe annoying the people in front of us? Maybe. But I feel like you can talk, and I feel like we've had this on planes before too, where I feel like people around us maybe were annoyed that we were talking, but I'm like, you're allowed to talk to people, so I'm not going to whisper. Yeah. And I actually also kind of feel like this in the movies. Now, I don't think you should talk in the movies, but if you're making a commentary, and a whisper is just as disturbing as a normal, not this loud, but a step above a whisper. So it's like I'm interrupting you regardless.
First of all, I'm going to add my color to the movie.
I got to. But I also feel like if I'm like, oh my God, can you believe? That's the same as me being like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. And
I'm going to laugh at an inappropriate time. Especially
every single time because I understand humor.
Yeah, because it's hilarious to me.
Now, on the other end,
if you're at the movie with me, I'm definitely leaning over and being
honestly,
like,
you should rent out a theater. The opposite of that is if you're on the phone in public and it's on speakerphone, now you're annoying. I don't know how that's different than having an in-person conversation, but it is. Okay, so rules for me and not for thee type shit.
Okay. I agree with all of this. I feel like there is something about setting. I feel like if I'm in a place that's known to be quieter than usual, and you become the anomaly to that environment because you are the only one that is doing this thing, then I feel like it sticks out more and bothers me more than if that's not the setting.
Well, I agree. And even if it's not okay, let's say we walk into a Starbucks and everyone in there is being very quiet. Now, I don't feel like that means that I can't talk at all, but it definitely means that maybe I wouldn't talk at a more elevated tone because I'm understanding what the setting is. But I also understand the contractual rules of this world, and nothing says I have to be silent, in a Starbucks. But I can, respect that, I don't need to walk in there booming. On the opposite end, I feel like there's people have I don't feel like it's inappropriate to talk at a normal level on the plane. Where were we flying? Or
Hawaii.
Maybe I was flying first class.
We were flying Hawaii, Alaska.
I sat on a plane where the two people in front of me didn't know each other and they talked the entire time. And so I didn't think that was inappropriate. And I feel like part of people's making up of rules is also because that we're black. So that's also something I'm taking into consideration, I feel like people are talking on the plane all the time, put your headphones in, this is if I were sitting next to anyone and I want to have a conversation, that's my business. And a plane is loud, so you do have to talk a little bit elevated. But I don't let people make me feel bad about it if I already know there's nothing in the social contract that dictates I shouldn't be doing this. You just have an idiosyncrasy about it.
Yeah.
So anyways. Okay.
There's a lot that bothers us and a lot that I'll do that probably bothers people.
Yeah. So people learn better stink eyes. Because let me tell you, don't tell me to be quiet. I ain't gonna listen to that shit. All right. Thanks for tuning in, pretties. Love yas.
Have a great time.
Subscribe, follow, Venmo, Zelle.
Why are you so funny? Yes. If you aren't already, please follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Like and subscribe our YouTube videos. And
tune in again next week for more of this riveting conversation. Stay pretty.
Stay prideful. Especially if you're black and a woman. Happy Women's History Month. Happy Women's History.
You can't finesse. Bitch, I move smart like a motherfucking Tesla. I'm clutching this Glock, do I look like a wrestler? Get put on your back, tryna act like a flexer. Hold on, wait, this Glock take 'em out like a date. She give me the pussy, I just want the face. Fuck her real good, put the bitch in her place. I'm high in the bitch, but my mind up in space.